We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
I may not be a millionaire. I may not have a brand new Frigidaire. My clothes ain't all fancy, and my car ain't brand new, but there is joy.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. A reality radio show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant who says it.
I'm joined here by recording artist Lolita Robinson. Welcome to another day of Joy in My House.
I'm glad to be here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I cannot complain. God really takes care of me.
Well, you've been a busy man, so what's been going on this week?
For me, it's I teach a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I teach fighters. I teach triathletes. I teach housewives, children.
Oh, housewives. Okay, I want to hear. Okay, now what? Should we bring a camera for that show? I'm kidding.
Well, that could be a reality show in itself.
No, really, women want to learn how to fight. Yeah,
You know,
I
I
guess
have
in
a
these
lot
days
of-
and times.
I have a lot of women that it's empowering for them. I think they
Okay.
get tired of going to the gym and doing the same routine or getting a trainer, because I don't consider myself a trainer that tells
Okay.
you do more reps or lift more weight.
All right.
I actually teach them something that empowers them. So I think it gives them the opportunity to feel like they're in control. And a lot of times, especially housewives,
Mm-hmm.
they lose themselves in their children, in their husbands, and they need something for themselves. So I tell them, this is the time for you to take just for yourself.
Good for you.
So it's a very empowering thing for women. And I think
Good for
even
you.
young girls, because my daughter trains MMA, and
All
she's
right.
8 years old, Zaylee.
Wow,
So I'm very
Zaylee.
proud of her.
Good for you. You know, it's amazing to see how God can take a life and just. Did you ever imagine when
No.
you were under your was he called?
My master,
Your
yeah.
master, and you were being trained for martial arts, that God would open up this big arena and use His gifts to impart to other people and put you on the radio and talk about it?
No.
That's why I told you we
I
serve
thought
a
I was
mighty
gonna.
God.
I thought I was gonna be a soldier. I was gonna teach, the Navy SEALs,
Mm-hmm.
and God took it in a total different direction. But to Him be the glory,
All right.
because I have great relationships with my clients,
Mm-hmm.
and I share the gospel with them. I share, what God has done in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it gives them a little bit of hope, because I know people have put a lot of hope in me when they shared about their lives with God.
Well, that's awesome. That's why we're glad that people watch each week, because we're hoping that you will not be disappointed, that God can take your gifts no matter where you are and use them for His glory, however He chooses to do, because He does run the show.
Amen. Amen. This is Joy in My House. I want to thank you, all our listeners and viewers who are out there listening and viewing. Thank you for being supportive of Joy in My House. I want you to know that you can find us on Facebook /Joy in My House. You can tweet us directly here on Twitter.com /Joy in My House. You can find us all of our archive shows here on latalklive.com /Joy in My House. You can also stream us live. So if you're just listening to us on any mobile device, you can stream us live and watch the audio as well as the visual on newstream.tv, and you can also find us on iTunes genre R&B. We had a great show for you last week. If you didn't catch it, remember, find us on latalklive.com.
Yeah.
By the name, we had an in-studio guest by the name of Lee Benton, American actress.
She was something else, boy, I tell you. Now here, a famous actress who God has used in that way, but now she's ministering to the gospel all over the world and doing mighty things. I really got a lot from her show.
How amazing how, like you said, God really uses those talents.
Yeah, He does. And that's what it's all about. He gives us a platform. I thought it was the other way around. I thought, well, Lord, I remember when I was first starting out and singing, Lord, let me just go out there and just show people what you can do. And He's like, I don't need you to do that. I need you to show people what I can do. So, that's very true. I believe He gives us these platforms because He wants to get the word out. And Van, you look good in your blue today, drinking your smoothie or whatever you're drinking.
Well, Van Eric, if you don't know, our producer now is juicing. He's really taking his health to the next level and really trying to stay healthy. So please support him.
That's right.
You can find us all on Facebook /Joy in My House. You can find us all on Twitter.com /Joy in My House. So I want you to engage with us out there. Those of you who are listening and viewing, if you have a praise report, call in. If you have a question for our guests, call in. I want you guys to be a part of the joy that we have in our house here. And we have a great in-studio guest today.
Man, I tell you.
By the name of Julian Keys.
He's awesome. Well, he's got a beautiful young lady with him also, and I thought she was the singer. And I just like to be surprised. and it's just I can't wait. Go ahead, Van.
Well, I think we can convince her to say a couple of verses, at least one verse, if nothing else.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
see what we can do.
All
We'll
right,
see
but
what we
Julian's
can-
coming on, and I can't wait to hear how you came across this young man. Awesomely talented. He was just sitting in there playing a few things, and I just could feel the spirit of the Lord. So this is gonna be fun.
We have Julian Keys in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, and he'll be performing live this afternoon, so you're not going to want to miss. This is Joy in My House, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned.
My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. Dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. Who Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground, yeah, is sinking sand. Clothes ain't all fancy, and my car ain't brand new, but there is joy in my house.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on LATalkLive.com. Inspirational radio,
with a touch of recovery.
a reality show where nothing is left unsaid,
And no one is insignificant who says it.
exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is John McClure Jr., aka Simply John, and I would like to invite you to join us on GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com on LA Talk Live. And we're more than just talk. Remember, it's a heaven's party here on earth. So live life, love God.
This is Jay Nicole, and when I'm in LA, I'm listening to LATalkLive.com, exclusively on LATalkLive.com and the Talk Live Broadcast Network. You can also catch them on iTunes Radio R&B, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, Radio Flag, and AHA Radio, or watch and listen directly at LATalkLive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show. I'm joined here by my co-host and author of Shaped by the Master's Hands,
How
Lolita
are
Robinson,
you? Good to see you. Let's get going.
and our in-studio guest, Julian Keys.
Oh.
Welcome to
Hello,
the show,
hello.
Julian.
Thank you for having me.
Julian, you remind me of my son Nicholas.
Oh, thank you.
And
He
he's not
does.
my favorite. I have all kinds of favorites, but doesn't he remind you of
He
Nicholas?
does.
Yeah.
He does. Very soft-hearted,
Yeah, I love
very
it.
humble.
I'm excited.
Thank you. I
Well, I want to
appreciate
thank
that.
you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. Like I
Now,
said.
Julian, very quickly, you're a musician, producer, singer-songwriter,
Mhm.
dancer, actor, and your accolades go on and on. But I always like to let our audience and viewers know how we met. I met you at the red carpet event for
Yes.
Children United Nations, their 15th annual viewing party.
Mhm.
I always like to ask, what got you on that red carpet? What got you to go to that event for Oscar night?
Well, I actually have a close friend that's invited me to that for like the last 3 years. So I've been in, I've partaked in that particular event. And it's just great. It's a great outreach program for the foster youth. And I love to, support events such as that. So
Is your friend was an artist or someone who's
no, he's actually the producer of the show. Shout out to Rob Merrill.
Hi, Rob
So,
Merrill. Nice to meet you. Great for your work.
Yeah, definitely. So he always hooked me up with that for like the last 3 years. So it's just a great event to attend. You meet a lot of great people, and then they have the auctions that the proceeds go towards these outreach programs and things.
Yeah, for Children United Nations.
That's awesome.
So it's a great program. Whenever you're in a position to help out, you should help out, and I think everyone's in a position to do something to contribute. So everyone has to play their part. And shout out to Daphne Ziman for she's the founder and the chair lady of the organization. So she's doing a fabulous job with that whole program.
That's
She
awesome.
really is. She really is.
And him being such a young man too. It's
Yes.
To have a heart for other people. A lot of times when you're young, you don't really think of the perils of other people. But
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good for you. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on in the show, about your organization. But let's get started a little bit on your family of origin. Where did you grow up?
I grew up. I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
yay! I knew I'm from Chicago too. All right. Hey, I know it. I knew something. I think we're related. We got to be. We look.
I know, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I actually only been living in LA for about 2.5 years now. I came out here with my family, my mother, and my 3 younger brothers.
All right.
So yeah, we kind of took a risk and came out here.
Why?
Yeah.
Why did she move?
Well, my mom, it's a long story. My parents got divorced basically. And we were living with my grandmother and things of that nature, and just a lot of stuff was going on. For a family, from the family perspective, it was a needed change, needed change in the environment. And my mom, she's an attorney, so she was closing down her practice because she was getting tired of law. So she was closing down her practice, and she was looking for another professional field to go into, which was my nonprofit. She wanted to really work with nonprofits, so I was supportive of her in that. And she was actually going to move to Boston because I've traveled a lot just with entertainment since I was young, and I had the opportunity to move with my uncle in Boston and have a male influence role model. My father is in my life, by the way. Shout out to my father. I love my father.
I love that.
But I also have other great men in my life as well, which is my uncle. And he taught me a lot of things, just such as being a man. And my mom actually wanted my brothers to also experience that too. So we were going to move out to Boston. But I was living out here doing music with managers and stuff. And I told my mom, like, as soon as I turn 18, I'm moving out to LA.
Okay.
And she was like, I don't think that's a great idea. Because,
As
you
most
need
moms
family,
say.
That's right.
You
Mama
know
doing-
people, but you don't have any family out there. And, I don't want you to go out there and then have to come back and struggle. And so she was like, we're moving anyway.
Oh,
So
how
let's
neat.
move
So
to LA.
mom went with you.
Yeah, it was funny because it was
yes.
one day I was, a lot of stuff was going on. I went up to my mom's room. I was like, Ma, I came to the conclusion we're moving to LA in 45 days.
Oh.
And she was like, wow, that's crazy, because I was just saying to myself, like, we're going to move to LA in 50 days. And,
Wow.
next thing you know, we moved to LA in 30 days.
Oh God! So God, I told you He has His own plan. You had 45, she had 50.
Yeah.
God took it
30.
30.
Right. I mean, like, seriously, and like it just shows that God puts you in certain positions. If it's not meant to happen, it's not meant to happen. In that particular situation, that's something that I wanted. And honestly, I look back on it like, wow, it really happened. It
was a
really
musical
happened.
thing.
And yeah, it was a
Okay.
musical thing. I knew a couple people. I had some things going on out here, but it wasn't nothing too major to the point that I was like, yo, it was really taking a chance, and saying, this is what I want for my life. And I think that these things over here present opportunities. So
Well, let's talk a little bit about your
yeah,
foundation. Were you a church-going family?
absolutely, it's crazy. My grandfather and my grandmother, I love them to death. And my grandfather just passed last
Sorry to hear that.
condolences.
Yeah.
summer. And between my sister and I, they would come every weekend and pick us up, take us to church.
Okay,
My
all right.
mother was into church too, and we're a Christian-based family, but it was always my grandparents who moved me along with my faith. And my grandmother was the first person to really make me have a relationship with God. She didn't make me, but she introduced
Introduced
me
you
to God. When I used to go over there in summertime, and my grandmother has this big library, and she would tell me, when I die, I'm gonna give you this. And she has crazy,
Oh wow!
different
Is that your
style.
mother's mother?
Yeah, my mother's mother.
Okay.
Different big type of Bible, all type of Bibles. She's like, when I die, you getting this one. I'm like, yo, I want that right now.
Oh, beautiful.
But yeah, she introduced me to it. It was like summertime, and she was just like, this is it. And that's when I really changed my life around. I had a different perspective, you know. So,
And as growing up,
Mhm.
you started getting into trouble, as most
Yeah,
kids
most
do,
kids do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you start rebelling a little bit. I want to
Mhm.
talk about being disciplined
Mhm.
because I thought the style of discipline that your parents used
yeah,
was pretty interesting and actually added to your career.
yeah.
And what kind of led you astray? Were people what was going on in your life at the time that from your grandmother's influence to
Yeah. One thing I tell a lot of my peers too, just by me going through it and you know through my nonprofit and just in dialogue, is that you know when you're younger, even as a human being in general, but when you're younger, you're so vulnerable, you're so insecure because you don't know who you are, you don't know what you want to be, and you're figuring things out, you know. And at the same with the same token, life is still passing by. You're still encountering people. You're being influenced by people. All of this, so it's a very confusing world when you're young. I think we all
I'll go through.
yeah,
you
but
know,
that's
we all
very
go
well
through it.
said though.
And I was just going through that. And then in addition, you know, I do come from my mother and my father. It was a domestic violent household. You know, I saw my father go to jail numerous times just for you know domestic violence, and between him and my mom, you know, just whatever. And I don't mean to say it like that. You know, my
No, but
parents
we
are
get
great,
you.
but
We
everyone
get it.
goes through
Thank you.
something.
Everybody has
Thank
their
you for
struggles
going
and
there.
challenges.
Yeah, isn't that the
Yes.
truth?
And
Yeah.
you know, when I was younger too, I wasn't, you know, everyone was like a fat stage. I was actually obese when I was
What?
younger.
Wow.
Yeah, which is crazy. Look at this.
Wow. Yeah. No, really. Look at this. This is true.
I'm trying to get some of that
What
weight
smoothie
back
are
right
you-
now. You know?
No. Wow.
But I was obese, and I went through it was a phase, but it was obese, and on top of that too, I had a speech impediment.
Wow.
Like seriously.
It
So
gotta be the glory.
yeah.
Man.
I took classes in school for numerous years and stuff,
Mhm.
but it was funny because I used to get picked on it a lot, but
I
never
can
people
imagine.
never knew that it bothered me as much because it was weird. It was a weird dynamic because I was a popular kid. Very
You're
popular
probably
kid.
very funny. Did
I
you?
was very funny. I was very
Humorous, yeah.
energetic. I always wanted to entertain people.
Yeah.
Sometimes I did that in the wrong light because you know I get in
Right.
trouble. All of this and that's just when I was younger. You know, I was going through stuff at home, so I act out at school and
Right.
just
And
try
it's an
new things.
emotional thing that sometimes you
Yeah.
get to a point where you're broken inside, and as a young child, how do you cope with that?
And being heavy and stuff too. People,
Yeah.
you know.
And let's talk about that being
Yeah.
disciplined, because your parents would discipline you
Yeah.
through having you write essays and
Yeah.
oral presentations to address your negative behavior.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I
Wow,
always
how did
say-
that look? Oh
I
my
give-
God! Go yeah to your mother, the attorney, which is
I give-
wonderful. You
I
know.
really give my mom a lot of credit for that, and both of my
That's awesome.
both of my parents, because I'm not a father or anything like that, but when I have kids, I would want to take their same steps because they know each of their kids.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to, like with my sister, she'd get in trouble, and they knew that it would damage her if they took away her phone or computer.
Okay,
you
so
know?
she-
they knew that was enough.
Mhm.
I didn't have to physically abuse you or physically, you know,
Mm-hmm.
discipline you. You know, I just have to take away something that you care about and show that there are consequences for every action that you make, you know, and you lose privileges with that. So for me, I absolutely hate it. Like, they couldn't make me do math problems. I'm a math guy. I love numbers all
Wow.
day.
Whoa.
But one thing I hated growing up was reading and writing.
Okay.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I wouldn't even say reading and writing because I think everyone. I obviously I love to read,
Yeah, but
it's,
I like
it's
to read
finding
and write, but I
an
can't do
interest.
math.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it's finding an interest
Yep.
in what you like to read, and you know,
That's right.
school stuff and like this type of book. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Can we like, you know? So I hated that, and yeah, they would make me write essays. I was staying. Oh, I'd be grounded for summers. All summer long.
Wow.
Stay in my room.
We're not gonna
Wow.
ask what you did to
Right.
get grounded
Yeah,
for the
for
whole
the whole
summer.
summer.
And I mean, like, it was bad too because my grades weren't that bad, good either. You know, my birthday is November 5th, so I'll get my report card right by my birthday.
Oh,
so I have
wow.
plans for my birthday
You
and
was
the
out of a
report
lot of
card coming.
cakes.
I'm like, no. But anyway, so that was a discipline. They would make me write essays.
On what,
for
like
all
Huck
my-
Finn and stuff you didn't like, or what?
Yeah, it would be like, this is why this was wrong for me to do this.
Yeah.
And this is why I acted in this particular type of way because I felt this type of way. And I think that all human civilization is wrong. And then I would have to orally present this to my family.
Which is amazing.
Your brothers and sisters, were they rolling?
Everyone, my parents, like I just sit up there with my paper like Hi everyone, my name is Julian Thomas, and I'm gonna speak about why I'm being disciplined by my parents.
Oh, that's awesome.
For this particular
That's
action.
hilarious. That's great.
Yeah, so that actually really helped out because
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as being a very comfortable speaker now.
Yeah. Wow. And then you didn't want to do it anymore, so you stopped getting on restriction.
Oh yeah, I mean I got in trouble so much that it kind of became natural. So it wasn't like a one-time thing where it's like, oh, I'm never gonna do that again. It was like I couldn't stop getting in trouble, so I kept having to write essays.
But amazing how that added to your arsenal.
I
How
wish
that
I knew that when I was when my kids were growing
But
up.
that's why I had to really, my parents knew that would work for me.
Wow,
It
that's
ended up
beautiful. We're
favoring
laughing, but
me,
that's awesome.
It favored my talents. It brought something out of me instead of just physical disciplinary action. That doesn't always help, especially at that age I was going through. Because if physical action, you can provoke a child.
Yeah, you
Right.
can.
And that is a child is already going through so much, and then you want to add physical harm to them. Who's to say that I'm gonna respond how you want me to respond
Yeah,
and be
okay.
calm, and
Right.
I may not respond like that, And one of my brothers are very similar to me, So shout out Mario.
Mario, you doing the speeches now?
Yeah, I love my brother Mario. I love all of my brothers.
he
They're so
younger?
unique. Yeah, I
Okay,
have 3
Mario.
younger brothers.
So is he still standing up for the family now, or is he?
Yeah. He's way bigger than me, and
Wow.
they're growing up to be great young men, and
That's
they're all of
awesome.
them bigger than me.
Oh, wow.
I'm the oldest brother. I'm the shortest one, so they're
Wow,
really
that's
big
amazing.
dudes. Yeah,
And through this, you became a great prolific writer and a great orator
yeah,
because of this discipline. And this was your most powerful method of self-expression.
yeah, definitely.
And because they wanted to keep the creative juices alive in you, they gave you piano lessons and acting lessons. Tell us a little bit about that part of your life.
You're gonna hear me say this a lot, and everybody probably get annoyed around me, but
No,
I
you
give
say it.
praise to my mother and my father because they, a relationship is very give and take, and if I'm not strong enough, I depend on you, the closest person, to be strong for me and to get me back on the right track, or this and that, and vice versa. That's a healthy relationship, especially for parents too. So, like I said, it goes back to when I was young, I was very uninspired. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do anything, I didn't like anything. I always made excuses. I just was in my own world, and my mom always pushed me to do things because she wanted to put me in different avenues to see what might fit for him, because I know that he's not naturally inspired. So I don't want him to, I want to put him in things to see, look, you may like this, you may like that.
Right.
Piano was the very first thing, and I hated piano.
Was anybody else musical in your family?
My grandfather was a famous pianist from Arkansas.
Okay.
On my mother's side. My great grandfather, my
Okay.
grandmother's father, and then my grandmother's brother sung in a gospel group with Sam Cooke before he
Oh
actually
my
went.
goodness!
Yeah, but that's
okay.
the
So
only-
music, because what I heard over there wasn't something you could just,
But the funny
it's
thing,
some talent
the
there.
thing is, everyone's into music now, and I would like to take credit for that.
Okay, there you go,
Because
there you go.
like I said, besides those 2 people, there was no one in my family doing music. But when I started music lessons, my mom did, and my sister also did. So we started off. I'm the only one that kind of lasted, though.
You're the one that stuck
yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
but my younger
That
brothers, Isaiah plays the tuba and the tuba and the trombone and the piano. Mario plays the trombone, and then my younger brother Jordan plays the piano.
Oh, that's
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really well. The thing that also struck me is it's been beautiful that even in the midst of your parents, whatever their issues were,
Yeah,
they had the presence of mind to co-parent their children.
yeah, definitely.
And that's so important. Unfortunately, me and my husband didn't work either, but we did work together to be in one sync with
Yeah,
our children. And
definitely.
you're doing that with,
I'm
with,
doing with my children.
that's
and-
very important.
And Seth is a outstanding young man.
Thank you. That's my
Outstanding.
youngest son.
Her youngest son, and I taught him martial arts as well. Just
That's how we
great-hearted
met.
kid.
Yeah.
Great-hearted kid, and Nikki too. I mean, just good family because of the co-parenting. that
Yeah,
you
we
and
did.
Daryl
We didn't get so it's important. You may be separated from your spouse and whatever, but for the sake of the kids, do what you're sharing, because
Oh yeah.
and you have such respect for them. I mean, I'm sorry they didn't make it, but they
Yeah.
poured into you.
Oh yeah, I love my parents. Like I said, at the end of the day, one thing that my uncle taught me at a very young age as a man is you only have one mother and one father.
That's
You
right.
can have a lot of sisters, a lot of brothers,
That's right.
grandmas, but you only have one mother and father. You only came out of one woman.
That's right.
and you have to respect them. And I've learned that too. So You don't always have to agree with them.
Okay, I
know.
know.
But you respect them definitely, and you cherish them because life is so short, and they can be gone tomorrow.
They really could.
They could be gone tomorrow, and
because of that foundation with your parents, you had the opportunity at 10 years old to record your first song, Stay in School. Tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
recording your first song at
And
10 years
and
old,
when did you know
Stay
you
in
liked it?
School.
it was funny because my mom wrote that song because that's when I start really performing around Chicago. I used to go around Chicago.
You
and,
said your mother wrote it?
Yeah, my mother wrote
Oh,
that
wow.
song.
So, okay.
She wrote that song, and I contributed, but she mainly wrote that song. She woke up one morning like, Julian, I wrote this song. I'm like, all right, let me go record it or let me perform it.
Oh, that must be nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
she wrote the song, and it was really dope and everything like that too. But it was kind of funny because I never forget. It was like the last day of school before summer, and it was such a surprise thing to me. I'm in class like, yeah, and we about to get this stuff going this summer, like in 3rd grade, and then my mom and they were like, they made the announcement over the school announcement.
No, she didn't.
And they were like, everyone, we have a special surprise. We have one of our very own Julian Thomas, that's my legal name, Julian Thomas,
Oh, no.
and he has a new song, and we'd like to play it on the intercom
Oh,
in
no,
front of the
he
whole
didn't.
school.
Oh, no, he didn't.
And then, like I said, at this time, I was very insecure, and that's why I was so predominant with piano because I didn't have to speak.
Right.
Because I had
The
the speech
focus.
impact. The focus was on the piano,
Oh,
so I didn't like to
no.
sing or speak. And this song came on, and like I said,
Stay in
that's
school.
that's my homie's like, dog, like what you talking about? I'll never forget. I went under the table like, y'all tweaking on me right now. Oh my gosh! But I loved it. I got to perform at numerous shows.
And the kids loved it too?
Yeah, I mean they respected it because no one else was doing it.
Right.
And
Yeah,
now
well,
that I'm
must have
older
been
now
good.
too, it's like somebody tried to diss me. I'm like, but are you doing it?
That's right.
Thank you.
That's
I'm like,
right.
I don't hate me because I'm doing something that I love to
That
do.
was wonderful. That's
like
funny,
support
but-
that.
And that's what happens when you gift your gift like that and
Yeah.
you put it out there. It actually builds self-esteem and confidence.
It does, or it can tear you down if you're not
Well,
if you're vulnerable, because you're very vulnerable.
Yeah, you
especially
sure
if you're
are.
never, especially where I was. I had the speech impediment. I couldn't speak right. I was already I wasn't secure with that, and my mom just put it out there. But my thing was, it gave me, because everyone. Obviously, it taught me, it was pros and cons to it, because the cons were, everyone's like, man, you're talking, but I did get positive feedback. Like I saw that, they making jokes about it, but they really respect that,
Right.
Right. And a lot of people respect the fact that even though I had speech impediment, because like I said, I didn't show my insecurities. I was always like, yeah, whatever. I always come back with
Laughed
something.
them off, yeah.
And they were like, wow, this guy has a speech impediment, and he's still confident to do that.
Mhm.
So that allows other
That
people to
is
have
good.
confidence within
Yes, it
themselves.
is.
Even though they're a dog, you can be like, oh, this and that, but realistically, you admire what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Because
because
you're
of
doing
that,
it no matter what. Yeah.
Because
in the midst of that, at 11 years old, you started performing at the United Center for the Bull Kids for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, and this
Wow.
goes back to another, this was breaking all barriers, because like I said, with the song, it was my speech impediment, and then with the Bulls, I was the Bulls kids for 3 seasons, dancing at for the Chicago Bulls in front of 20,000 crowd, and it was funny because I would always get solos to dance, and I would be doing the Harlem Shake, and we'd be flipping and stuff
Were you
like
still
that.
heavy?
And I was heavy.
Oh, wow.
And that was the thing.
Wow.
And
You
that was
just showed up. You can be speech heavy. Do
Yeah.
your thing.
And that was a funny thing.
Go.
That's why I was like, all of that start giving me confidence.
That's
and then,
it. That's it.
So
You have a lot of accolades, so I'm going to go through them a little more quickly because I do want the audience and viewers out there to get an opportunity to hear you perform. But at 14 years old, you were the only performer to entertain and give support for the presidential candidate Barack Obama. And this was a rally in Illinois. Tell us a little bit how you got involved with that.
well, my mom, she's an attorney, and she was into politics, and she was, she was a trustee of the village and judge of the village and all this stuff. My mom, everything. So she had a lot of ties to the Democratic committee, and I grew up in that, so I built up relationships, and all that
Good for
happened
you.
was off of my mom's relationships and her sacrifice and her bothering, like, well, I'll do legal work for you if you'll let my son perform.
Oh,
Or,
yeah,
I'll
go
do
ahead.
this
There you
if I
go.
do that.
Thank
Or,
you, Mama.
And she did that a lot. So
Yeah.
and then like I said, I built up my relationships with that through my mom. So I would, I got the opportunity to be the only performer at at Governor State University for the voters rally, and Michelle's the first lady's mom came out and met me and everything, and it was
Oh,
cool.
Wow.
that's so really cool.
And then 4 years later, you performed for the official inaugural ball.
Yeah, I
Did
actually
you really? So you went into the whole thing?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
I partook in everything,
There
and
you go.
I performed at Colin Powell's inaugural ball.
Oh my goodness.
And then
Were you sing? Okay, you sing and dance.
yeah.
Okay, so you were singing. Were you writing music at this time?
Oh yeah, I've been writing music for a long time, ever since like 13.
Okay, now to kind of hone this in a little bit, were you making peace with the Lord at this point?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah. I
so
mean, I was
you had
finding myself.
you had kind of gotten off the track. You said that earlier,
Mhm.
and then what drew you back? And then God started opening up these doors. Or
Yeah,
what?
it was funny because in elementary school, like I was at that school for like 4 years because whatever, too long, and that's when all of that stuff bad happened. And then it was the summertime when my grandmother exposed me to that, just the spiritual lifestyle and building a relationship with God. And then I told myself, I'm like, you know what, this is getting ridiculous. Like, I don't want this for my life.
Were you doing drugs and drinking and any of that?
No,
Okay.
no.
Just acting up.
Yeah, it was just acting up.
Okay.
And like I've always been a very cautious person. I've always respected my parents. If they told me this is bad, I listen. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
My
Good.
sister, on the other hand, she'd be like, let's sneak out. I'm like, no. Like, okay.
There
I'm like,
you
but
go.
don't do it. They're gonna get mad. But so yeah, I was just like, I'm not doing drugs or anything like that too. But I'm not even going to compare myself to like friends that are doing that because everyone has their own struggles.
That's
My
right.
struggle is finding out who I am as a person, and I need to focus on that,
Mm-hmm.
And I know that although this is this, and I can compare it to other people, like, well, at least I'm not doing drugs like that person. I was like, this type of behavior can lead to something else in the
Right.
future. It can lead to something else. So I'm going to cut it off right now. I'm about to go to a new school, which was my middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going there with a fresh start, new people. You know what? I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And
And grandma's big Bibles.
yeah. So within the 2 years I was there, I maintained a 3.5. I graduated 8th grade with a 4.0.
Okay.
And then I was a
Wow.
National Junior Honor Society. I was on the basketball team, the track team.
You've done a
We went
lot.
downstate. We won medals and stuff. And I
Wow.
was in the performing arts. I was in acting. I was this, I was that. I was a basketball manager, 7th grade. I just made sure I stayed really busy within.
To keep yourself from being in
Yeah.
the devil's workshop,
Yeah.
So during that time, the weight was coming off, obviously.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I said too, that also I brought a lot more fortunate things in my life because I started becoming more positive and I started getting more productive.
Mm-hmm.
And I started really holding on to my craft because I went to school and then, like I said, I always thought that piano was a lame thing because all my friends did sports.
Right.
Never had like really.
The athletic background, you had more the art background.
Yeah, and my friends, and that was getting all the girls and stuff. So I'm like, why am I doing music? Like,
Now,
I'm like,
hey.
yeah, right. Then I was like, why am I doing that? But like I said, I partook in everything, which allowed me to be very versatile and know a lot of things and have a lot of interest. And like I said, at that time too, when I was a kid, I wasn't interested in anything, inspired to do anything. And here I am in my life now. I want to do everything.
And let's
know?
talk about that
Good.
turning point.
Okay. So
Because the
what's
turning
word? Yeah.
point, you did a remix of the My Girl with Teen Sensation, Mindless Behavior,
Yeah.
Sierra, Tyga, and Little Twist.
Yeah, I was actually in the music video. I was managed by their manager, so I got to I went through a couple of managers, which I call all of them my mentors because I learned something unique from
You
all
do,
of them, and
you
I
do.
became who I am because of all of these people who influenced me. In that particular situation, yeah, I was put in that position to cameo into a lot of music videos during that time because I was dealing with this one particular manager, and it just exposed me to a lot. And I was like, wow, like the more I was being exposed to this industry and music and knowing that, I can do this and I can make money off of it. I'm like, wow, this is probably what's for me.
Okay, all right.
This is probably what I want to do. And especially if I can make a living off of it, even if it's not that much, as long as I can
You're
survive.
doing your passion. People don't
Yeah.
realize that. They think, well, if you're not a star, why do it? But that's not what it's all about. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
it's-
become a star, hey, more power
because
to you. But
it's like we generalize things when we don't know them. When we don't know something, we generalize a lot as people. And if you don't know the industry, obviously you're going to be like, well, you're going to go off of what's being said by a lot of other people that don't probably know and generalize
Right,
also too.
right.
You have to actually get into it and then get your own perception of it, and then you make your own conclusion to something. Never go off of what another person says. You know, never live that way. You know, you're entitled to have your own opinion. Live by your opinion.
Very
you know?
quickly,
I love that.
I forgot this, and I wanted to touch on this just very quickly. At 13 years old, you were at the Apollo Theater, and you were a 3-time amateur night winner.
Oh boy.
Super top dog.
Oh
was the
wow.
title.
That had to have been. What was that like?
At
going
13
before?
years old, talk a little bit about going up on stage at the
You
Apollo
got a
Theater.
lot of chutzpah. Your mom and dad really,
Hey, they worked
and
hard.
the prayers of your grandparents.
Yeah.
Oh my
led the way.
gosh,
I
you
mean,
have
you know.
no idea. Out of everyone who prays for me, my
Yes,
grandparents,
I
my
know
grandmother
they
calls
did.
me every day, like, Julian, I'm praying, and I know you're gonna make it because your grandfather and I, before he died, we prayed every day about that.
Wow.
And I just
Prayers are
pray
being
that
answered.
I just pray that I see it before I die. I'm like, you gonna see it? I'm making it right now. I'm
You sure are.
it's not about money value or anything.
No,
like
it
that.
isn't.
But
How'd you go to the Apollo?
right, I was performing a lot in Chicago, and rest in peace to Verla Rogers. I used to do it was like a Chicago Apollo. She used to throw this show at the DuSable Museum downtown, and the crowd used to pick who won and everything. And I always come so close to winning, and I never won because everyone else would have a lot of people come out to support. And
Right,
a
that's
lot of
it.
people didn't actually come out to support me. A lot of family besides my intra family, So I always lose, but Verla was always in my corner, like, I think I can put you on the Apollo because I have a friend.
Oh.
She was like, it's no guarantees, but you'll have to audition and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I didn't know what the Apollo was, honestly. I look back on that
Oh,
like,
boy, you look
oh my
at that-
gosh,
you look at-
research. I should have been getting videos and everything.
Oh,
But anyway,
that's
so
what I was telling him earlier.
right.
Don't go by what just go do.
yeah, exactly. And I
Wow.
auditioned for Jane Harley, which is the coordinator, which is still my mentor to this day.
Oh,
Shout out to
I
Jane.
didn't know you had to audition for the Apollo. I thought you just show up and they call you in there.
They have she's like the coordinator, and you go through a process.
and they let some bad singers go so they can be booed.
Yeah, it's a business too. It's politics, so But I auditioned. They called me back like, yeah, you can do it. But the only thing was finances, which I know you're gonna ask me about McDonald's.
Oh, okay, all right. That's
And
coming
I
too.
had a weekly show. I had a weekly show at McDonald's when I was about 12 years old. I used to go there because it was a McDonald's set up like. Like I said, all this stuff my mom booked it. So shout out to my mom.
Okay.
And I used to have a weekly show at McDonald's because this one McDonald's in Chicago is set up with the rock and roll theme.
Wow.
So it's not like a playpen; it's an actual
Stage.
music stage and the piano.
Those kids
in
to
the
work.
McDonald's.
Put them kids
Right,
to work.
with a
Get
real
them out of
piano,
them balls.
right.
Put them kids to work.
With a real piano. And shout out to Randy Kahn, which is a great mentor of mine.
I
And-
wish,
and,
man.
And he owns the McDonald's.
Uh-huh.
I built up a great relationship with Randy. He believes in me so much. Besides my family, that's the other person who really believed in me and sacrificed and invested in
You
me.
got your own village.
Yeah,
Amen.
and I went there and I was, performing shows for a year. You go there with the suit on and
12
entertain
years
people.
old.
What kind
Yeah.
of suit? A McDonald's suit?
No, it was a suit, like a
Oh,
suit, looking
a
good
suit
like my
on.
man. Yeah,
Look like my man.
yeah, looking like my man. I was looking good every week, and I would go there. I'd get
Every
sick,
week
and
for a year.
I would go to piano lessons.
That's
Shout out
it.
to Alan Franklin, he also owns 3 music schools in Chicago. Him and his brothers.
That's
And
awesome.
he also got me the gig, if I remember that too. But I would go to piano lessons on Saturday, and then right after that, I had to go home, get dressed, and go up to McDonald's and just pay my dues and play for a whole hour for the customers. There was a lot
Wow.
of older people
That's-
that really, and that's why I said
That's daunting. I'm sorry.
and what happened
13.
was once I got the opportunity for the Apollo, obviously it was
You're prepared.
yeah, it was finances to get there. So my mom, I'll never forget, we threw a big old fundraiser, like Julian's going to the Apollo, and everyone, I always thought that I was never supported. Everyone came out. We raised so much
Oh.
money to send me to the Apollo, and then when I won, I came back, and then Randy was like, Mr. Khan was like, we can throw you a benefit concert here at McDonald's.
Wow.
So between these hours, all of the this percentage of the proceeds go towards your trip. And I went there. We had a big old fundraiser at McDonald's for like the second time, and we would raise money to send me there again. I won again.
You won again?
And then I went back a third time, won
And you
again.
won again.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's why I didn't make it. I'm lazy. I'm listening to you thinking, I went on 2 auditions, didn't get it, forget it. Look at you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Joy in my house. We're going to take a
Wow.
quick commercial break. When we come back,
Man.
we're going to have a live performance by Julian Keys. We're going to talk about his ministry and his foundation, his nonprofit, when we come right back. This is Joy in my house, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to stay tuned.
Wow. This is
I'm always in one of my constant husband's not trusting. He opens doors to go in, but I'm afraid to depend upon him. I bring him ashes for gold. He starts to work, I put him on hold. Still he's faithful to me, 'cause he's blind as to see. I'm praising God, praising God. I'm praising God, praising God. I'm praising God, praising God. I'm praising God. Oh, I'm praising God. He's all to me, my life, my love. He sets me free, I love him any time of day. I close my eyes and I can pray to Jesus. Come and follow me, I'll make you whole if you serve me. It is you and me in eternity. I'm praising God, praising God. I'm praising God, praising God. Oh, I'm praising God, praising God. I'm praising God. Oh, I'm praising God. I love you, Lord, I do. Yes, I do. I serve him. Serve. I love you, Lord. I need you. Hey, hey. I'm serving God. I'm serving God. Said I need you, Lord. Yeah, I need you, Lord. Said I want you, Lord. Yes, I do. Clothes ain't all fancy, and my car ain't brand new, but there is joy in my house.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on LATalkLive.com. Inspirational radio,
with a touch of recovery.
a reality show where nothing is left unsaid,
And no one is insignificant who says it.
exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is John McClure Jr., aka Simply John, and I would like to invite you to join us on GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com on LA Talk Live. And we're more than just talk. Remember, it's a heaven's party here on earth. So live life, love God.
This is Jay Nicole, and when I'm in LA, I'm listening to LATalkLive.com. Exclusively on LATalkLive.com and the Talk Live Broadcast Network. You can also catch them on iTunes Radio R&B, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, Radio Flag, and AHA Radio, or watch and listen directly at LATalkLive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show. with A Touch of Recovery, a reality radio show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant. Who says it?
I'm joined here by recording artist Lolita Robinson and my co-host.
Hey, good time, good show.
And we have our in-studio guest, Julian Keys. He's going to be performing a little gospel set for you just right now. I want you to find him on Facebook, /Julian Keys on Facebook. You can find him on Twitter as well. Julian, why don't you take it away for us?
We'll do.
Wow, that's
Great job,
beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, Julian, you were the opening act for the Artist of Peace Never Again Peace concert at the Gibson Theater, which featured Stevie Wonder, Eric Benet, and Shaka Khan. How was that?
That was awesome. I was one of we were actually in a group when we did that, and that was the first opportunity I had, kind of like LA. One of the first big things. Like, as soon as I moved out here, we did that, and I'm a big Stevie fan.
Oh,
like,
wow. I mean, wow, really? Isn't that the truth?
And that is also where you met your
Yes.
young girlfriend.
And this was my,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, I always want to know the personal side. There's a beautiful young lady in this studio who has a beautiful voice. And take it away, Julian. How did you meet?
We met at that show. We actually opened up together. She was a vocalist and I was a pianist and vocalist.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we met. And we start rehearsing, and we didn't really like each other. I mean,
really?
we didn't.
Tell
I
us
mean,
your
we
name
didn't.
now. What's your name?
Kiana Scalisi.
All right. And what happened?
Which
You
is
didn't like
Kiana
each other?
Lane.
Okay.
She's a recording artist too, y'all. My bad. I'm disrespecting the personal recording artist name. Kiana Lane. My bad.
Okay.
And yeah, we met with that, and we just became friends, and we exchanged numbers, and we were very on and off. We would talk here and there, but hey, how you doing? And why you ain't text me? Well, you ain't text me. Well, I ain't gonna text you then. You know?
Okay, that's
it was
right.
that whole type of
Okay.
thing, and then just a couple things. I took pictures with her for her prom, but she didn't invite me to the prom, which is funny.
no.
She just used
That
the
look on
brother
her
for pictures.
face. You better
It
get
was
a
funny.
mic one time.
And then we started going to school together. We went we attended Pierce College. So first day of school, we had a couple classes, and we both were trying to crash a class. And I was like, hey, come to this marketing class with me. She was like, oh, okay, cool. Went to the marketing class, and haven't been able to get rid of her since.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she's beautiful. Congratulations. We have to have her sing sometime.
Yeah, definitely. She's an incredible singer.
And I want to touch on the last thing before we talk about your nonprofit. You made an appearance on the Christmas special of Victorious on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That was another thing. As soon as I first moved out here, that was just an opportunity. Did the audition. They wanted a musician for the episode. Booked it. Had an awesome time. Got paid awesome.
Good.
Loved Nickelodeon.
Did you sing too? Did you sing?
No, I was actually just an extra up in that. Yeah,
all right.
but it was a musician extra, and like I said, that was a great opportunity when I first moved out here.
Now I want to talk about your nonprofit. Tell us the name of your nonprofit.
My nonprofit's name is Keys to Life. It's spelled K-E-Y-Z like my last name, the Roman numeral 2, and life is an acronym standing for Loving Youth for Eternity, and it's geared towards youth violence. Growing up in Chicago, I mean, now that it's highly publicized, most people know that there's a lot of youth violence there. But to me, it's so much bigger than that, and it's not just a black or white thing. It's just a people thing.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot of stress in the world. It's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of things that need to depend on spiritual guidance, you know. And that resorts into youth violence a lot too. And the whole philosophy is that, you know, if I don't love myself, it's impossible for me to love you. If I don't care about myself, it's impossible for me to show any care for you. If I don't respect myself, how can I show respect to you? So everything starts with loving you for eternity. And like I tell everyone all the time, you have to spirituality and your relationship and your knowing of who you are and your purpose in life, that's a daily process of figuring out. Just like it's a daily process of figuring out how am I going to make this money to pay these bills. You know, I have to check my bank account every day, because if I go to the store, try to buy something, they like, your card's been declined. Well, I had money in there, but not knowing that the bank withdrew money last night, or it was a maintenance fee or something. You have to check your finances every day. You check your car every day. You have to feed your car, you know, put gas in that so it can run smoothly. For your life, which is the most important thing, you have to feed your spirit.
That's right.
And you have to know who you are. And that takes, just like any relationship, it takes time and effort, and you have to put the work in for that. So loving you takes time and effort. It takes time to look in the mirror every day and figure out who you are and know, you know, that's who I am. This is what I stand for. Because before I go out into this world of confusion and influence, I have to have a solid foundation, because it's a battle, you know. And like I tell people all the time, whether you're Christian, whether you're with Islam, whether you're Buddhist, whether you're anything, you have to have a structure to who you are as a person. As long as you believe, as long as you respect people, love people. But once again, that starts with you loving and respecting yourself. And that's a big key to youth violence, I feel. You know?
So what are you doing? You're taking that to the people in the, how did it get started? Were you
It got started when
talking to young people who've come out of that kind of a background?
No, because it was a drastic thing that happened in my life when I was about 16, 17 years old. I was a freshman, and we went into summertime. Beautiful day. I'm working, you know, I used to go around, cut people's grass to make some side change.
That's it, yeah.
I didn't want to go work anywhere else. I was like, let me just make this money. I went to go make some money cutting the grass. My mother picked me up because I was all the way in the other, whatever. Went back home, beautiful summer day. Everyone's outside, and I'm like, my family's at the park, and then I'm like, I'm going to go to the basketball courts, you know, play basketball. I went to the basketball courts. You know, it gets kind of rowdy, but, you know, a couple guys come out there high, drunk, you know, we playing basketball, get into confrontation. And I'm the smallest dude, I'm the youngest dude on the court.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest dude. Like, I play with big dudes. So, you know, automatically they want to pick a fight with me. You have beef with someone else. I'm like, why are you talking to me? I ain't do it, you know? But now I get heated. We get into a exchange of words, and I think it's just a basketball game, you know? And after the basketball game, this guy still harassed me. I'm like, dude, you know, all in all, we end up getting into an altercation. But which was the real turning point was I had like a new phone and stuff like that too. So this whole time I felt like these guys were plotting on me because they saw a new phone. I had some money on me, and they felt like they could take advantage of that. And I got into an altercation with this guy, and I ended up getting jumped, beat down really bad. And to me, I never forgot, I got beat down really bad. My eye was fractured. This bone fragment right here was fractured. And it went back on my eye. That was the only thing that prevented my eye from popping out. That's how bad. Kicking me in my face, all of this stuff. And I get up just like, what happened? And I never forget, I called my mom. I was able to keep my phone in my pockets because someone was trying to take my phone out my pocket while they were beating me up. And I called my mom, like, they just jumped me. And my mom was already coming up the street. She zoomed down there, picked me up. I was like unconscious, took me to the hospital. I was there all night.
Wow.
And then I went home for like a week, and it's a long story, but I went home. I was in my room for like a week. Didn't want to talk to anyone, family coming over.
That's horrible.
You know, ghetto cousins like, yo, what you want to do? I didn't know what. I was like, I was scared. I was angry,
traumatized,
confused, traumatized. Because to me, I'm like, I lived my whole life learning that all I have to do is respect people, and I receive that back. I don't have to say anything to a person. They won't start anything with me.
Boy,
if you just be a good person, good things happen to you. And that was the moment in my life where I felt ashamed. I felt embarrassed. I inquired about buying a gun. I wanted to go kill this dude, but then I didn't want to kill him because if I killed him, he was going to retaliate and someone was going to kill me. Or it was just like a traumatic thing.
Yeah, it was.
And The great thing is, my mom, she got me help with a psychiatrist, and I talked her over, and I still was feeling bad. Then my mom came to me after that week. It was like, look, you can't feel sorry for yourself. You either you're gonna take this and make it into a positive, or you're gonna feel sorry for yourself. So that's why we end up making Keys to Life.
Thank you for sharing.
And Keys
that.
to Life
Yeah.
is a
That's so
mentoring
important.
program. It helps development of self-pride, accountability through dialogue. You educate the youth through your testimony. You've done things for the Boys and Girls Club out in Chicago and different charity events. You also had the opportunity to start your media group, In No Entertainment Media Group. You released your first official video for Gone. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we're going to close out the show with your performance of Starts with a Dream.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know where to start.
There's
Yeah, well,
a
I did
lot.
all of that stuff. Yeah, when I was 18 years old, I had enough experience in with this industry. I was learning a lot, so I was like, okay, I want to make my own company basically and do this independently and be successful with that. So that's what I did under this company, Entertainment. I've released numerous projects, and most recently I've released and partnered up with my short film that I filmed in Boston entitled Escapement, which is based around jazz music. We placed that song in the film, which is the main song of the film. My single, It Starts With a Dream. And prior to that, I released my single, Gone. And all of those can be found at my website, www.juliankeysworld.com, or YouTube. And I have YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all of that stuff. But if you go to the website, that is the hub, and you'll find all of my other sites, which you can find more of my material and music on iTunes and stuff. And yeah.
That's a lot. I'm glad you said all that, but I don't want to just skate over what you shared, the trauma that you went through. I'm just blessed that you didn't allow your heart to be hardened, and that you have credibility now. My cousin was talking, you have street creds. You know what it's like to be a victim.
Yeah.
But you also know you've been a victim with weight,
Yeah.
speech impediment, and beaten up.
Yeah.
But yet you did not allow that, and God is using it in a powerful way. And I'm so blessed that you're here today.
Yes.
And thank you.
Thank you. And I want to end off with one thing before I perform, and this is like the overall message, because I say this to a lot of people. I get a lot of compliments about how well I speak, how I present myself, this and that, and it's truly a blessing. I want to first of all say I give all the glory to God, and I give the glory to the people that God put in my life, because I am a product of all the people who touch my life, whether it be bad or good.
That's right.
And I was strong enough to endure all of this and learn
Yes,
from
you
it
did.
from God, and have strength, and my strength comes from God.
Amen.
But I also want to say that, for future generations, because we always say the children are, the future. It's so true, because I am who I am because of all these people. People took time with me. They sacrificed for me. They were patient with me. They believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. So I always say, like, if people want more products of this, you have to put more time into the next kid that you see.
Yeah.
Don't overlook that kid. It may be a bad kid. Don't give up on them. Say something. Do something. Be a positive light on that life, because you will have more products such as this. I'm not perfect. I'm just saying.
No,
I
but
get
what's going on?
compliments about that
Right,
and a lot, and
right.
I'm always like, it's not me, because I'm just the same as that kid that's not doing what I'm doing.
Right.
But I was just in a different position. He could be the same way, or I can be him. So I don't take anything I've been through in life for granted. I embrace it. I'm so thankful that I'm able to be on this show and share that, and try to
Well, we're
put
gonna
light on that.
do a small clip, Starts with a Dream, and then we'll ask you our question at the end.
Okay.
Here it is. Starts with a Dream. This is Julian Keys, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't be afraid of fear. You can conquer anything. Just close your eyes and spark a dream. Allow your heart to lead the way, and then you'll see your dreams become a reality. See, all you got to do is believe. Yes, you do. Through your mind with hope, your will and fantasies. Yeah. See, don't let things hold you down. Just take a chance, have faith. Spread your wings and soar, and watch your dreams unfold. A place of possibilities. Be anything you wanna be. Now can't you see how everything starts with a dream? I just believe and let love set you free.
Wow.
Julian
Yeah.
Keys, ladies and gentlemen, on Joy in My
Wow,
House.
I've got chills. That was
We always
beautiful.
like to ask of our guests,
Ooh.
what does joy in my house mean to you in this day and age, in the midst of what you're going through, in the midst of your career now? What does joy in my house mean to you, Julian?
Spirit, temple. Spirit, temple. Inside this temple, there is a spirit. My spirit must be at joy in this house while I'm here. As long as I'm peaceful, I give off that energy and allow peace to be attracted towards me. And I can potentially change other people's lives. So joy in the house, joy in the temple. Be at peace with yourself. Know who you are. Find out who you are. Love God. Love yourself. Love others. Show respect and live life.
Whoa.
Amen. Julian
Very
Keys,
well
ladies
said.
and gentlemen,
Thank
on
you.
Joy in My House.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show, Julian.
you so
Thank you
much
for
for having
taking
me.
the time. Great show. I want you to catch us next week. We'll have Cassidy Max, star of Zoe to the Max and founder of Love Gives You Chances, empowering foster youth and encouraging adoption for foster care.
Yay.
This is Joy in My House, ladies and gentlemen. Have a blessed day.
Hey, turn up.
Excuse me, Father.